Barcelona might be one of Europe's most famous food cities, but it's also one of the easiest places to eat badly. So today, we've got 24 hours and 10 stops, from breakfast to Barcelona's oldest bar, to show you where you should actually be eating. We're skipping the tourist-packed La Rambla and heading into Poble-sec, Gràcia, and local spots off the main path. And we'll meet one restaurant owner who definitely didn't ask first. And it all starts with breakfast right here where the locals are, in the Gràcia neighborhood. This place looks like nothing special from the outside, but on the inside, it's got that true local cafeteria vibe. The snacks are simple, but that's exactly the point. This is the kind of food that local Catalans grew up on. I don't know what's happening. There's just one woman in the kitchen cooking for everyone. So we came here to try their toast with olive oil, sea salt, and chocolate, but they didn't have it today. So instead, we got the next best thing, a bocadillo. Inside, it has tomato, olive oil, and cheese, and a nice little crispy loaf. The bread is really crispy but soft, and it is like drenched in olive oil. You can really taste that kind of spiciness with salty cheese. I'm here for it. That was traditional, now we gotta go trendy. Well, super trendy, Instagram-friendly looking brunch places is not a very traditional Spanish thing. That's more of an American thing. Gràcia does run traditional, but it also does have a creative side. So you are gonna find places like that in this neighborhood, like Eixample, known for its very Instagrammable, colorful toasts and grilled sandwiches. Can we just do one Iberian toast, please? So we had the traditional side of Catalonia's most beloved breakfast, pa amb tomàquet, or bread rubbed with tomato, back at Bar La Camilla. But since we're doing the creative side now here at Eixample Brunch, we got the same thing, but with a modern glow up. Salty Serrano ham, and of course cheese. Because have you ever met something that cheese is bad on? Neither have I. Normally I'm team keep it traditional, but when you add salty ham and that creamy brie cheese is kind of grilled, just like a little bit crispy, I gotta say I might be team creative Gràcia. That is fantastic. So are you team traditional or team trendy toast?
I think trendy toast, because when have you ever had pan-fried brie?
It's kind of like halloumi cheese.
Except like with a little bit of funk.
Is that your funky dance? Gràcia used to be its own village, and even now it feels like that. It's community-driven, creative, and proudly Catalan. If you want to experience the real side of Barcelona, Gràcia is a place you cannot miss. Before we head into the Gòtic quarter to taste something that's been made the same way for over 100 years, we had to take a 5-minute detour to stop by the Sagrada Familia, the most photographed place in the whole city, maybe the whole world. Now we're in the Gòtic quarter, the oldest part of Barcelona, and it's also the most touristy. But among the selfie sticks, you can still find some old school traditional gems like La Colmena. This is a bakery, the oldest in the city, making traditional Catalan sweets since 1849, which is fitting for the district that we're in. Well, there's no seats in La Colmena, which is great because then you get to go sit in history while eating the history. Cheesy, yes. Cool, also yes. So, to start off, we got a panelette. This is probably one of the most traditional Catalan sweets, typically eaten on All Saints' Day in November. Definitely marzipan, very almondy, but marzipan is normally like, oh my gosh, I think I need to go to the dentist, it's so sweet. This one's not that sweet, it's good. It's chewy. Contrary to what you might think, this is not a sugar-coated hot dog bun. This is a chou-chou, very traditional Catalan sweet, which is like a deep-fried pastry coated in sugar, and then apparently it's filled with creme catalana, which is like the Catalan version of creme brulee. It's literally exploding with cream. Oh my gosh. It literally tastes like a Boston cream donut, but better because it's in Spain. Like this video so the algorithm can find us when we go into a sugar coma, please. The bakery boy.
It's the best thing in life, except for but it's like really, really soft and amazeballs.
I just noticed a sign for a vermouth tasting, and it happens to be the hour of vermouth. So let's go from sugar to booze, baby.
We basically just ate breakfast.
The Gòtic quarter is continuing to prove that it's not just about tourist traps with this place. This is Bodega La Palma, an old-school traditional tapas bar been around since 1935 that does traditional Catalan food. But what we're here for is their house-made vermouth straight from the barrel. And we happen to be here during the Hora de Vermouth, which is basically your permission to day drink in Spain. It happens between 12 and 2, and it's when you want to have a little vermouth aperitivo to open up your appetite before lunch with a little salty snack, traditionally a gilda. Olives and anchovies on a stick. William and I consider ourselves somewhat of vermouth connoisseurs.
Unashamedly.
Unabashedly, we have tried many in the name of research for you to make sure you have the best one. And I have to say, this actually might be the best one.
That one is really good. It is very spiced.
Gilda, cheers.
It's never bad.
Never bad.
It's really never.
Would you try Gilda? Or do you not like anchovies?
I don't think you should even give them an option. You should try a Gilda.
Right.
Cold hard facts.
No is not an option.
Mm-mm.
Well, that was something so traditional and somewhere so unexpected, which is what we love finding, because the mission of our channel is to help you eat like a local and avoid the tourist traps. So if that's your vibe, hit subscribe, and now we gotta keep eating. Now we're in the Born district. This place is very touristy, but it's also very modern and creative. So we are at Saigas. This place really represents what Born is all about. Simple ingredients, but done in modern, creative ways. It's run by a Michelin-starred chef, and everything they grow and use here is actually from their family farm. It's really like field to sandwich. Sobrasada is like the spreadable, rich, fatty, paprika-laden sausage from Mallorca, which is an island just off the coast of Barcelona, so it's kind of local. Cheese, sausage, bread, honey, sweet, salty, crispy, crunchy. That's sobrasada in my pants. So wow, that is spicy, it's rich. And you got that little like herby honey to make it feel like an adult grilled cheese. That's absolutely fantastic.
That's some cheese, baby.
We're about to leave, but then we saw the bread with olive oil, chocolate, and sea salt we tried to get this morning, so of course we had to try it. Literally bread, chocolate, olive oil, and salt.
They gave spoons. They give spoons for quitters, but we're not that. So to the face we go.
I can feel it on my face, and I'm not mad about it. Wow, that's freaking fantastic. Welcome to Eixample. This is Barcelona's grid-like core and where a lot of the city works. So to reflect that working class vibe, we came to try a very traditional menu del dia, or what the working people eat during the day. The menu del dia is a 3-course set menu you'll find all across Spain. It's fast, fresh, and affordable, and Can Boneta is known for a menu so fresh it changes based on daily market availability. They do it all for 18 bucks, and you get to start with 3 tapas. Everybody gets 3 tapas, you don't get to pick it, you get them all. I'm a psycho, and I hate ready yolks. I'm very happy to see a jammy yolk in this little chorizo egg action. I mean, it's a jammy, salty egg with chorizo. You can't go wrong. We got soup. It's good. I mean, it's vegetable soup, but it's in Spain, which makes it 10 times better. I feel like anxious right now. There's so much going on. It's like you're on a time crunch to get 1 hour. So course number 2 arrived as soon as course number 1 left, and there's 2 options. We are by the ocean, so of course we got some bacalao, probably the most eaten fish in all of Spain. It's like iron cod. There's nothing on it. It's just salty, fresh, tastes like the sea. When you're in Barcelona, try the sea.
All right, so he told me the pork was the best. So, of course, that's what I have to eat. Look at this. It is just tender.
Kind of jealous. I might have made the wrong choice. I made the wrong choice. Your face says I made the wrong choice. Sharing's caring.
Not right now.
I got 1 bite. Round 3 came, and we got a little bit more dessert. So I got a little bit of mango sorbet. I have nothing else to say about it. It's a bowl of mango sorbet. You've had it before.
Well, that's my dessert.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying it for you. I genuinely have no idea what this is.
You made the wrong choice again.
I did. Because that is like cheesecake meets fudge meets flan. It's fantastic. Just a few steps away from our very authentic lunch, you're going to find La Rambla, aka the most famous street in all of Barcelona. It's all here. Laminated menus, $9 sangrias, authentic tapas in 7 languages. Now, we're not saying don't come here, but maybe don't eat here. So we're gonna head to our next neighborhood, Poble-sec, and we're gonna go to a place that Anthony Bourdain loves and also show you the modern side of Barcelona tapas. We're eating 2 dinners in the neighborhood of Poble-sec tonight for a reason. This neighborhood has been feeding Barcelona for over a century, and it's a great mix of traditional old school tapas bars, but new school modern chefs pushing things forward, so you can really taste tradition and transformation all in one place. We promised you Anthony Bourdain, and that pick is coming. But first we wanted something a little bit more modern, so this is Genesis. This feels kind of like where Poble-sec is going, and it's known for their wines because it's run by 2 sommeliers. I love Spain. What they're absolutely known for here, you must get them, is their Peking duck croquettes. So he said the correct way to eat the duck croquette is to do it in 2 bites.
Start with the sauce, the last bite with the cucumber.
Got it. Okay. I see a croquette. It is stuffed with duck, and that duck is like literally so tender. That is, oh my goodness, that is fantastic.
They got something going on.
Well, I was just spoon-fed caviar. Fantastic. In my mouth?
There you go.
Thank you, that's service. And it is all over these fried eggs with French fries. Spain has a very traditional tapa called huevos rotos, which is like eggs with French fries and a little bit jamon. And this is the Genesis version. Stay with me on this. The French fries are like McDonald's French fries, which are fantastic. Like really salty. And then you add truffle. And by truffle, I mean caviar. My brain is like, what just happened? I can't even talk. French fries will never be the same. Bravo.
I think I've had caviar like twice in my life. First time was freaking delicious, so. Second time did not disappoint.
We also had Spain's prized Iberico ham, served traditionally on tomato bread. Yes! The food just keeps coming. It keeps getting fancier. I think I see foie gras on that steak, baby. Normally we don't eat foie gras, but we are in Catalonia, which is French inspired, so you gotta go all in. That is cooked perfectly. The foie gras is good. It is rich, it's luxurious. Salty, crispy French fries. This thing is a flavor bomb, it's a texture bomb. Everything is elevated, but still somehow feels modern Catalan. And still like this very just like homey, fun vibe. Well, we came with an empty stomach and we left with a very full stomach and a bottle of cava. That is Spanish hospitality, baby. So before we go to Anthony Bourdain's favorite restaurant, our apartment is actually in Poble-sec. That's very cute. So we have to drop off our cava baby and also our stuff because tonight we're gonna show you the grittier side of Barcelona. We gotta keep it a little safe. Well, if Genesis was a look at where Barcelona is heading, our next stop, Equipment, is a love letter to the past. We promised you Anthony Bourdain's favorite spot in the city, and this is it. It's been one of the go-to tapas places in the city for over 100 years. People say it's kind of touristy, but when Anthony Bourdain says you gotta go,
You gotta go.
so we asked him, like, what are the most popular ones? And he was just like, do you eat everything? And we're like, yeah. He's like, I got you. And walked away. So we don't know what we ordered. The one thing that we did say we were intrigued by is the one that's most reviewed, which is the toast with yogurt, salmon, and truffle honey. And he said we have to eat it right now. Holy. It's like creamy and rich. And like garlicky and crispy and crunchy.
I can hear the crunch.
So good, right?
It's so good.
Anthony Bourdain. We do trust him.
He knows some things.
He knows a couple things. This one has tomato, Iberico pork, caramelized onions, and some truffle oil. You don't really taste the truffle in this one because there's like so much flavor going on. It's delicious. Next up was a mystery.
It's a loquat with anchovies.
Is a loquat an apricot? Is it a made-up Spanish fruit? I have no idea. 2 people came up to us and specifically said, you eat everything in one bite. So like these are the rules. I don't know what just happened in my mouth. I think the white thing is cheese. Liquat is definitely an apricot. Sardine is salty, briny, and then there's herbs on top. This is literally the bombiest flavor bomb that I've ever put into my face.
Honestly, I'm just left confused. I have no idea what I just ate. I didn't know that was good.
I'm so glad we let him surprise us because that is fantastic. I would not have ordered that because it sounds so strange. And it is, in a good way. We asked the server, what is the white thing and the red thing? He said it's cheese and olives. The taste buds, they work. The brain cells.
I'm saying nothing.
This place is worth the hype. And for how touristy it is, the value is absolutely incredible. The next stop in the Tour de Barcelona neighborhoods is Sant Antoni. This is a very old school traditional neighborhood, but recently it's had this very kind of modern, funky glow up as represented by our next stop, the very trendy Vida Vermouth. If Quimet y Quimet was very like old school traditional vermouth, where are we? Vida Vermouth is absolutely not that. It is super modern and really pushing vermouth forward. And they're kind of known for their vermouth cocktails. But since we are those vermouth connoisseurs, we're gonna try their house vermouth. Pure, simple, red and white.
This is very interesting, like white vermouth. Kind of tastes like soda poppy. I don't know, I haven't had one like this before. Not sure if I'm a fan.
And then red.
Oh, I like that one. It's like really spiced and...
I also like it better. Well, that's how you do trendy drinks. But now we're literally stepping back in time and we might lose our eyesight. If you know what that is in reference to. That purse is stuck. Welcome to Raval. This used to be the red light district of Barcelona, and it's still kind of the gritty underbelly. You'll hear people warn you about it, but what they don't tell you is a place where you can still really experience the soul of Barcelona, from the dive bar, the creative shops, and the immigrant-run places. There's no better time capsule than Bar Marcella. This is Barcelona's oldest bar. They are known for their absinthe, baby. It's gritty, just like the neighborhood, so of course, you know we had to check it out. I forgot to mention Picasso and Hemingway drank here, so that tells you how old it is. But you take your fork, and then we have a sugar cube. Put it on top. This one's broken, that's okay. And then he has a water bottle, and so he like poked a hole in it. And then you squirt on top of the sugar cube. Ah, I missed. I'm really bad at absinthe. And then it drips, apparently. I don't know how long you wait. I got no instructions. It's not even dripping.
We might be here a while.
I've had absinthe cocktails, but never absinthe grape because I'm legally blind already and I didn't want to make it worse. So here goes nothing. Wow. I thought it was going to be really strong. It goes down really easy. I actually genuinely am so surprised right now.
I thought the go blind thing was like Everclear, not absinthe.
I don't think so.
I think you made that up.
Google it.
What did we just learn, class?
I Googled it. Okay, absinthe is the green fairy because it makes you hallucinate, not go blind. I was wrong. Even though this place is like a little more touristy, I thought it was gonna be. Still love the dingy vibes. And a glass of green fairy. That was a full day of food, but if you are all about the tapas like us and want to go where the locals go in Barcelona, watch this video right here where we crawl through Gràcia, Barcelona's favorite tapas region.